Hi everyone, my name is Charlie and today I have a book haul. I did not plan on hauling any books this month, but I got contacted by a publisher, my friend gave me some books, and then I had a bit of a good day at the charity shop in which I might have found a book that I have been looking for 25 years. But I will get to that. Firstly, we will begin with the book that I've been sent by a publisher and for which I will be part of the blog tour later this month. And that book is The Planet Spins on Its Axis Regardless, which are stories by Kavita A. Jindall. When I heard about these stories, I was quite intrigued by the premise and I am looking forward to reading these and reviewing them. Isabel over at Fly on the Wall Press usually sends me some very interesting books, and although this wasn't published by them, I very much trust her judgment when she contacts me and asks me whether I would be interested in reading something. Then my friend Joy chose to give me her second copy of Telling Tales by Cleeves. I nearly ended up giving this to the library because I thought I'd lost the copy of theirs that I had taken out. I do prefer the library copy because that has a matte cover and this is shiny. Well, this is the second book following Vera Stanhope. I read The Crow Trap earlier this year and then started this immediately afterwards, but I could remember it very well from the TV adaptation, which I couldn't do with The Crow Trap. The only issue I have is, once again, it's about a religious community and there's a bit of a harsh patriarch of the family, and don't get on with those stories. I find them very difficult to read, but we will see. I've got it now. Joy wondered whether I'd want this book, and I wasn't going to because I've already read Cranford by Elizabeth Gaskell, but it was the other stories in here. I have wanted to read Lois the Witch for ages, and I haven't been able to find it. I might just read it for that. And also it's nice to have a new copy of Cranford because I didn't like the cover that I had, and these Wordsworth Classic Editions do fit in with my Dickens Wordsworth Classic Editions. And hey, it might do to read some more Elizabeth Gaskell. I might like the stories in here. We know how I felt about Sylvia's lovers. And the rest of these books are from the charity shop. So last week I got into work and I looked down and I saw Orbital by Samantha Harvey. And I sent a message to my friend Charlie of Charlie Brooke Reads and said, should I get it? And she said, you never know, you might like it more than I did. I have now read it. I reviewed it. That's in a wrap-up that may be here, it might not, but I will leave a link if it is. And this book was shortlisted for the Booker Prize last year. I don't know if it won. I keep saying that because I didn't follow the prize last year. But this is a tale about 6 astronauts in space and is their meanderings about life, the universe, and everything. Then I got Dr. Sleep by Stephen King. I've started reading this already. I am 66 pages in. It just irks me a little bit how long it takes the author to get to the point. This is the sequel to The Shining, and basically it's been sat on my shelves for ages at work. So because I was going to have to unhaul it, because I was going to have to take it off the shelves and send it to another shop, I thought I'll just get it and bring it home with me because I've not read Stephen King in ages and I did enjoy him when I read him. So I was looking for a bit of a quick thriller. But I swapped this out for something else that I might talk about at the end. And then I got the Starlight Barking. We had this children's book donated to the shop, and many moons ago, my mum told me that when she was younger, the one book that she read and reread was The 101 Dalmatians. And so when that got brought into my school library, I immediately took it out and I read it. And then I found out about the Starlight Barking, but I'd never seen it anywhere. So as soon as I saw this copy, I got it. And my aim is to try and read it sooner rather than later. It's a sequel to 101 Dalmatians. The only thing I have heard is that there's something about where the dogs end up gaining the ability to fly. I don't know. We'll give it a go. And then we have a book that I've been umming and ahhing over because I really like Joanne Harris. And this is her book, Broken Light. And the reason I say I've been umming and ahhing over it is because the volunteer who donated this to my shop hated this book with a vitriolic passion. Now I'm worried. But I've got it. I'd been waiting for it to come into the charity shop because the copy at the library is just taking way too much time to come back in to be able to borrow. So I've got it now, and I might read it this summer. We will see. Her latest book, Vian, is out, and that is a prequel to the Chocolat series. And we know how much I like Vian Rocha and those stories. So hopefully I like this. But the only thing that I've heard about this book is that someone said, I'm going to read the blurb because somebody said that it was like it was like Carrie by Stephen King reimagined for a middle-aged audience. I don't know. Have you ever felt invisible? Bernie Moon has given her life to other people. Her husband, her son, her friends, who are these days mostly online. At 19, she was full of dreams and ambitions. Now almost 50 and going through the menopause, she's fading fast. Heartbroken and hormonal, she often feels like she's losing her mind. But when a young woman is murdered in a local park, it sparks a series of childhood memories in Bernie, and with them a talent that has lain dormant most of her adult life. We'll see. And now finally, the book that I have been waiting for 25 years, that I have previously mentioned on this channel as to how long I've been waiting for this book, and I've been on a quest. Back in Mrs. Johnston's class in year 4, I read a book, and I thoroughly adored this book. And then I moved into year 5, and I couldn't remember the title properly. I could remember the title, but nobody else knew the book. So immediately I began to wonder, did I dream it? Have I been getting the title wrong all these years? And I never saw it at my local library, and I never saw it at any other school I went to. In Mrs. Johnston's class, she'd bought a load of books from home, so when she left, she took them with her. And so I didn't know where this book was. Then I had to wait until we got the internet, and I researched Dick King Smith and found out about this book. And I knew that I wanted it, but if I was going to get it, I had to find the very specific edition I'd read in Mrs. Johnston's class, and I had to find it at a charity shop or second-hand bookshop, and I had to buy it myself. I couldn't have somebody else buy it for me. I don't know why I made this a quest, but the quest is now over, because I have worked for the charity for 17 years now, and in all that time I have never come across this book until last Wednesday, when a donor donated a bag full of vintage children's books, and I finally came across Magnus Powermouse by Dick King Smith. You cannot imagine how thrilled I was. I stopped everything I was doing to take a picture of it and send it to Charlie and say I couldn't believe it. I stopped what I was doing. I walked out of the kitchen where I was sorting to the books into the middle room, went to the desk, sat down and just stared at this book for about 5 minutes, because I couldn't believe that after nearly 25 years, the search was finally over. And most people probably wouldn't hold so much importance or have given themselves such a silly quest as I gave myself. I could have ordered this book off the internet. I could have done this the easy way, but for whatever reason I didn't want to. For whatever reason I needed it to be this edition, and I had to find it at the charity shop, and I just held out hope that it was going to happen one day. So in this book you have Magnus. He is born, and he is much larger than his siblings, who unfortunately all die as his mother tries to find enough food to feed them all. She then remembers that during pregnancy she ate a pig fattening pill, and recognises just what had occurred to give her such a large baby. And then the fight begins to continue feeding Magnus, and they go on an adventure through the farmyard. And yes, there are a few perilous moments, but it's just such a happy book. I was thrilled. I read this on Sunday morning and it completely stands up, and I understood why Charlie, of nearly, well, over 2 decades ago, thoroughly enjoyed this book, because I still enjoyed it. I don't care that I'm a 32-year-old, nearly 33-year-old man, and I read a children's book one Sunday morning and thoroughly adored it. I don't care. Magnus Powermouse, I finally read it. I finally found it, and I finally read it. Well, reread it after all this time, and that's it. That's my biggest accomplishment of the year. Forget the cozy crime novel, forget the upcoming tour of Stockport and the fact that I've got more events and stuff going on. Forget all that, because I finally did it. I found Magnus Powermouse by Dick King-Smith. The quest is over and now I've nothing left to live for. That's a lie. But, you know, we like to be a bit hyperbolic on this channel. No, I'm thrilled to have found it. And I look forward to going back to this in any possible sad moment. I look forward to being able to share this book with younger relatives, but I might buy them their own copy because I waited too long for this. Anyway, them's the books. If you would like to discuss any of the books that I have mentioned in this video, maybe tell me where you think that I should go in terms of all these books, please feel free to do so in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, because until next time, that is all.